China demands U.S. drop tariffs. Trade war escalation explained. China has called on the U.S. to revoke unilateral tariffs, denying any ongoing talks. What does this mean for global trade? The demand comes amid rising tensions between the two economic giants. Let's break down the latest developments. China's Commerce Ministry stated the tariffs violate WTO rules and harm both economies. The U.S. initially imposed these tariffs in 2018, targeting $300 billion in Chinese goods. China responded with its own tariffs, leading to a years-long trade war that's never fully resolved. Experts warn this latest move could reignite economic tensions between the superpowers. The timing is crucial. Both countries face domestic economic challenges that could be worsened by trade disputes. China's denial of talks suggests they're taking a harder stance in negotiations. Some analysts see this as political posturing ahead of key international meetings. The global supply chain, still recovering from pandemic disruptions, could face new pressures. Consumers in both countries may see price increases if the trade war escalates. What's next? We examine 3 possible scenarios for how this trade standoff could develop. Scenario 1: seen diplomatic breakthrough. Both sides return to negotiations. Scenario 2: escalation. New tariffs imposed, hurting global growth. Scenario 3: status quo. Tensions continue without major changes, creating uncertainty. DOJ's shocking mistake. Flaws in Trump's NYC congestion pricing plan exposed. The DOJ just made a huge mistake, accidentally revealing flaws in Trump's NYC congestion pricing plan. Let's break it down. Congestion pricing was a hot topic in NYC, aimed at reducing traffic and pollution. But the Trump administration had other ideas. The DOJ document, meant to be confidential, exposed major flaws in Trump's plan to kill the pricing scheme. One key flaw: the plan underestimated the economic impact on small businesses and commuters. Another issue: environmental concerns were brushed aside, despite clear evidence of reduced emissions with congestion pricing. Legal experts say this slip-up could reignite the debate and put pressure on current leaders to revisit the policy. So what happens next? Advocates are calling for transparency and a reevaluation of the data. This accidental leak might just be the turning point NYC needs. Stay tuned for updates. Pentagon advisor secretly installs Signal app. What's really going on? A bombshell report reveals a Pentagon advisor secretly installed Signal on a secretary's computer. What's the hidden agenda? Fox News host Pete Hegseth's favorite advisor is at the center of this scandal. Who is this mysterious influencer? Signal, the encrypted messaging app, was installed without authorization. Why was this done, and who knew about it? Sources claim the advisor gets him what he needs. But what exactly does that mean in this context? The Pentagon has strict cybersecurity protocols. How did this breach go unnoticed? CNN uncovered this scandal. But why now? Is there more to the story? Experts warn encrypted apps in government settings pose major risks. Could this be a national security threat? Will there be consequences for those involved? Or will this story disappear quietly? Stay tuned as we uncover the truth behind this shocking revelation. Judge blocks Trump's proof of citizenship rule. What it means for U.S. elections. A federal judge just halted key parts of Trump's election overhaul. Let's break down what this means for voters. The ruling blocks a controversial proof of citizenship requirement for voter registration. Critics argued the rule would disenfranchise millions of eligible voters. The judge called the requirement unconstitutional and discriminatory. This is a major setback for Trump's broader election reform agenda. The ruling preserves same-day voter registration in several states. Legal experts say this could set an important precedent for future voting rights cases. The Justice Department hasn't announced if they'll appeal the decision. Voting rights advocates are celebrating this as a major victory. But the battle over election laws is far from over. Stay tuned for updates. Judge orders return of deported migrant. A legal battle unfolds. A federal judge has ordered the return of a second migrant deported to El Salvador. This case highlights ongoing legal battles over immigration policies. The migrant, whose identity remains confidential, was deported under controversial circumstances. Advocates argue his rights were violated This ruling follows a similar case last month, where another deported migrant was ordered back to the U.S. Legal experts say this could set a precedent. The judge cited insufficient legal representation during the deportation process. This raises questions about due process for migrants. The U.S. government has not yet commented on whether they will appeal the decision. This could lead to further legal delays. Advocacy groups are celebrating the ruling as a victory for migrant rights. They argue more cases like this could force policy changes. Critics, however, say this undermines border security and encourages illegal immigration. The debate continues to divide the nation. The migrant is expected to return to the U.S. within weeks. His case will likely reignite discussions about immigration reform. This ruling could have far-reaching implications for thousands of similar cases. Stay tuned for updates as this story develops. How Trump's influence is shaking up Canada's election. Polls tighten. Donald Trump is back in the headlines, but this time it's impacting Canada's election. Let's break it down. Recent polls show the race tightening, with Trump's rhetoric becoming a surprising factor. Trump's policies on trade and immigration are resonating with some Canadian voters. Opponents argue his influence is polarizing and could harm Canada's unity. Experts say Trump's shadow is forcing candidates to take stronger stances on key issues. Trade relations between the U.S. and Canada are under scrutiny again. Immigration policies are also a hot topic, with Trump's rhetoric fueling debates. Some voters see Trump as a symbol of strong leadership, while others fear division. The election is now too close to call, with Trump's influence adding unpredictability. What does this mean for Canada's future? Stay tuned as the race heats up. Trump's shocking reaction to Russian strikes on Kyiv, what it means. Breaking news. Former President Trump speaks out against Russia's deadly strikes on Kyiv. But why now? Let's unpack this. Russia launched devastating missile attacks on Kyiv earlier today, killing dozens. The world is in shock. In a rare statement, Trump said he's not happy about the strikes. But his past ties to Putin raise eyebrows. Experts say this marks a shift in Trump's usual pro-Russia stance. Is this genuine concern or political strategy? The Biden administration has condemned the attacks much more strongly, calling them war crimes. Meanwhile, Ukraine's president has thanked world leaders for their support, but didn't mention Trump by name. Trump's comments come as he prepares for another presidential run. Could Ukraine policy become a campaign issue? Some Republicans are praising Trump's statement, while others want tougher action against Russia. The attacks have renewed calls for more weapons to Ukraine. Will Trump's position affect this? As the war escalates, all eyes are on how world leaders respond. Trump's remarks may signal a new phase in U.S. politics.